everyone, welcome to Arpita Sharma classes. Welcome back to the Hindu newspaper prelims version analysis for UPSC CSE dated 25th of May 2022. आप लोगों का स्वागत है और आज हम 25 मई 2022 के द हिंदू न्यूज़पेपर को एनालाइज करने जाएंगे. Important articles को पढ़ेंगे, okay? And based on those articles, we are also going to solve prelims-based questions. So आपकी mock test की तैयारी भी हो जाएगी और current affairs की revision भी हो जाएगी. And I just shared some of the snippets of the current affair notes on the community post as well as on my Telegram channel. So I guess now you must be having an idea of how to simplify the note making process. Notes बनाने तो सबको आते हैं. You all know how to make notes. You have done your graduation or are in your graduation. You in class 11, 12, we all have taken notes. Okay. So also in class 10 हमने जो major classes हैं 10th, 11th, 12th इसमें notes लिए ही लिए हैं. बाकी क्लासेस में तो क्या होता था, होमवर्क हो गया, उसी को रिवाइज कर लिया, वही टेस्ट देने चले गए. ठीक है, बट 11th 12th में हमने स्पेसिफिकली नोट्स बनाए हैं, ग्रेजुएशन में भी बनाए हैं, तो इसीलिए we know how to make notes. But the problem is that in UPSC the syllabus is vast, so it becomes a little tricky when it comes to summarizing the notes. थोड़ा सा tricky हो जाता है जब बात आती है नोट्स को समराइज करने की. ठीक है, तो इसीलिए आज इस लेक्चर में हम नोट्स को समराइज करेंगे. ठीक है, and that is why I am again and again telling you, please don't be dependent on somebody else to make notes for you. You have to create your own notes. मेंस का आंसर आप लिखने जाओगे ना, कोई और तो नहीं, मैं तो नहीं लिखूंगी आपकी तरफ से आपका मेंस का आंसर. तो आपको अभी से नोट्स बनाना भी खुद सीखना होगा. देयर आर मेनी स्टूडेंट्स हु आर आस्किंग, मैम यू मेक नोट्स एंड अपलोड द पिक्चर्स ऑन द टेलीग्राम चैनल. हमसे होता नहीं है, वी आर नॉट एबल टू डू दैट. बट देखो, एक्चुअली इन मेंस यू आर गोइंग टू राइट योर ओन आंसर शीट. कोई और आपके लिए आंसर आके नहीं लिखेगा. So that is why you have to start note making process yourself from day one, and note making helps you in writing answers for mains. If you are just dependent on current affair magazines at the month end, trust me, it will become very tough for you to make notes, okay, or to write answers in mains. जब आप मंथली मैगजीन्स पे डिपेंडेंट हो जाते हो ना, तो मेंस में आंसर फॉर्मुलेशन उसमें दिक्कत आती है. जब आप खुद से डे वन से लिखना जानते हो, पढ़ के समझ के नोट्स बनाना जानते हो, तो आंसर राइटिंग में उतना ही इजी हो जाता है. सो प्लीज कंसिडर माय एडवाइस, start making your own notes. भले ही आप संडे को बनाते हो notes, no issues. If you are making the notes on weekends, no problem in that, okay? But start making notes your own self. Before we move ahead, here's a very small announcement for all of you. Unacademy is launching UPSC CSE Mega Combat, which is a gamified live scholarship test. एक live scholarship test है based on the preliminary examination of your UPSC CSE. And here, this is a current affairs special version. That means हम current affairs based questions बनाएंगे. So if you are preparing for prelims 2022 or even if you are preparing for prelims 2023, make sure that you give this test, because इससे you will have an idea. If you are a 2023 aspirant or 2024 aspirant, you will get an idea how questions are framed from current affairs. Abhi right now you are reading the newspaper, but you are unaware of the type of questions they can frame from those current affairs that you are studying. And even if you are a prelims 2022 student, ठीक है, एस्पिरेंट 2022 के हो, अभी का एग्जाम देने वाले हो, तब भी आपको आपकी प्रिपरेशन को और स्ट्रॉन्ग करने के लिए ये टेस्ट जरूर देना चाहिए. बिकॉज प्रैक्टिस मेक्स अ मैन परफेक्ट. जितनी प्रैक्टिस ज्यादा होगी उतना डर कम होगा, और एक बार डर पे जीत हासिल कर ली फिर तो कुछ भी अचीवेबल है. द ओनली थिंग फर्स्ट दैट यू नीड टू डू इज conquer your fears, and that you can conquer by giving these mock test. And ये scholarship test है, तो यहाँ पर आपको reward भी मिलेंगे. 250 lucky participants will win Amazon के gift vouchers worth rupees 10,000, and you will get in-depth video solutions also after the end of this test. So this test is going to be conducted on May 29th, live test at 11 AM in the morning. You can give this test on the app, Unacademy app, or on the website. The link is given below in the description box. Okay, do make sure that you enroll before 29th of May, ताकि जब 29 मई को टेस्ट शुरू होने वाला हो तो आधा घंटे पहले आपको नोटिफिकेशन आ जाएगी. And do not forget to use my code ARPITA10 to enroll in this free scholarship test. Okay, so the first article in the newspaper on the first page is outrage over removal of Sheikh Abdullah's image. Political parties in JNK on Tuesday have expressed outrage over the administration's decision. Anger, okay, anger or outburst over the administration's decision to replace the image of Sheikh Mohammed Abdullah with the national emblem and police medals. Police medals पे शेख मोहम्मद की image थी, उसको रिप्लेस करके एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन नेशनल एम्बलम को लगाना चाहता है। तो जो पॉलिटिकल पार्टीज है JNK में वो गुस्सा हो रही है इस बात पर। So we know that following the abrogation of Article 370, जब 370 को लास्ट ईयर में देखा था ना, लास्ट ईयर एब्रोगेट करने की बात की गई थी, JNK गवर्नमेंट हैड इन 2020 ड्रॉप्ड लेट शेख मोहम्मद's टाइटल शेर कश्मीर फ्रॉम बोथ द पुलिस मेडल्स एंड रीनेम्ड देम एज जम्मू एंड कश्मीर पुलिस मेडल फॉर गैलेंट्री एंड फॉर मेरिटोरियस सर्विस। नाउ हियर शेख मोहम्मद अब्दुल्ला, हु इज ही? यहाँ पर बात आती है प्रीलिम्स की। This article is important from the perspective of prelims. They can definitely ask question on Sheikh Mohammed Abdullah. Historical figures के ऊपर questions आते ही हैं. The important personalities of the history, they are used as questions in prelims. So Sheikh Mohammed Abdullah, he was an Indian politician, and obviously when the JNK political parties are getting outraged, that means he belonged to the politics of JNK. जम्मू एंड कश्मीर के पॉलिटिशियन थे, एंड ही वाज गिवन दिस टाइटल ऑफ लायन ऑफ कश्मीर, दैट इज व्हाई ही वाज नोन एज शेर ए कश्मीर, कश्मीर का शेर। ही वाज द फाउंडिंग लीडर ऑफ ऑल जम्मू एंड कश्मीर मुस्लिम कॉन्फ्रेंस, ठीक है। लेटर इट वाज रीनेम्ड एज जम्मू एंड कश्मीर नेशनल कॉन्फ्रेंस। इनिशियली इसको ऑल जम्मू एंड कश्मीर मुस्लिम कॉन्फ्रेंस कहते थे, उसके ये लीडर थे। एंड ही वाज द फर्स्ट इलेक्टेड प्राइम मिनिस्टर ऑफ JNK आफ्टर इट्स एक्सेशन टू इंडिया। Now he agitated against the rule of Maharaja Hari Singh and urged self-rule for Kashmir. This is another important point. Maharaja Hari Singh इंडिया के एक्सेशन को एक्सेप्ट कर रहे थे, बट इनका ये मानना था कि भाई कश्मीर में सेल्फ रूल होना चाहिए, स्वराज होना चाहिए, हम कश्मीरी खुद को रूल करेंगे। That means he was considering himself as separate from the entire nation. So he served as the first elected prime minister of the princely state of JNK. Later he was jailed and exiled. बाद में इनको exile मिल गया, ठीक है। He was dismissed from the position of prime ministership after Kashmir was Jammu and Kashmir accession came to India. मतलब that means the reigns were given to India. And after that when JNK इंडिया में मिक्स हो गया था, मर्ज हो गया था, ठीक है, तो उसमें जो एक्सप्रेशंस हुआ करते थे, गवर्नर वाज नोन एज सदर ए रियासत, दिस वाज चेंज्ड टू गवर्नर, एंड द एक्सप्रेशन प्राइम मिनिस्टर वाज रिप्लेस्ड विद चीफ मिनिस्टर इन 1965. So Sheikh Abdullah again became the chief minister of the state. Okay, then 1974 Indira Sheikh Accord was signed. So then after all, after that moment, after 1974 and 1982, he left his body. So this was the history about Sheikh Mohammed Abdullah. Very important part of the JNK politics. बहुत ही important part थे JNK की history के भी, politics के भी, and that is why it becomes really important for us to study about him. So let us answer this question. Question number 1. Consider the following statements. The Article 370 was a part of Indian Constitution which gave special privileges and status to Indian state of JNK. Article 35A was added to Indian Constitution by presidential order in 1954, issued under Article 370 of the Constitution. Next statement is saying fundamental right to property is not guaranteed in the state. Jammu and Kashmir fundamental right to property is not guaranteed. So you have to answer this question. जल्दी से आंसर कीजिए इस क्वेश्चन का। वेरी गुड, थर्ड स्टेटमेंट इज रॉन्ग, इट इज गारंटीड। तो यहाँ पर आपका थर्ड स्टेटमेंट गलत है, ए विल बी एलिमिनेटेड, सी विल बी एलिमिनेटेड, फर्स्ट एंड टू स्टेटमेंट्स आर करेक्ट। तो यहाँ पर आपका करेक्ट आंसर इज बी, बी इज द करेक्ट आंसर। क्वेश्चन नंबर 2, कंसिडर द फॉलोइंग स्टेटमेंट्स अबाउट फंडामेंटल राइट्स। फंडामेंटल राइट्स आर प्रोटेक्टेड एंड गारंटीड बाय कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन. Fundamental rights are not sacrosanct or absolute in the sense that the parliament can curtail them, can put restriction over them or put reasonable restriction for a fixed period of time. However, the court has the power to review the reasonability of the restrictions if the government tries to restrict fundamental right. Fundamental rights are justiciable. Which option is correct? कौन सा option correct है? Very good. Recently, our educator Bhanu Sharma sir, he took the class on fundamental rights in the crash course of Indian polity on this channel. So in that course, if you have studied those lectures, you know that all the statements are correct. D आपका correct answer है. Judicial review का power है कोर्ट के पास. अगर fundamental rights पर restriction लगती है, तो restriction के पीछे का logic या reason जो है, उसको judicial review के द्वारा कोर्ट देख सकता है. Question number 3, consider the following statements with respect to fundamental rights in India. Right to property was deleted from the list of fundamental rights by 44th Amendment Act 1978. Right to elementary education is only available to citizens of India. Article 19 protects the citizens' right to move in and out of the country. Which statement is not correct? कौन सा statement इन तीनों में से गलत है? Which statement is wrong? जल्दी से बताओ विच स्टेटमेंट इज नॉट करेक्ट। देखो फर्स्ट स्टेटमेंट इज करेक्ट, फंडामेंटल राइट्स की लिस्ट में से राइट टू प्रॉपर्टी तो हटा दिया गया था, एक तो ठीक है, ये पॉइंट क्लियर हो गया सभी को। सेकंड स्टेटमेंट इज सेइंग राइट टू एलिमेंट्री एजुकेशन इज ओनली अवेलेबल टू सिटीजंस ऑफ इंडिया। नो, सेकंड स्टेटमेंट गलत है, बी विल बी एलिमिनेटेड। Okay, first A will be eliminated, D will be eliminated. Obviously, the correct answer is, even when you know about statement 1 na, then also you can by using elimination method identify the correct answer. This is how elimination method helps you. So C is यहाँ पर correct answer हो जाएगा. Yes, C is the correct answer. Second and third statement are incorrect. Question number 4. In the context of India, which one of the following is correct relationship between rights and duties? ये आपका PYQ है. This is the previous year question. Rights are correlative with duties. Rights are personal and hence independent of society and duties. Rights, not duties, are important for advancement of personality of citizen. Duties, not rights, are important for stability of the state. Analytical question है पूरा का पूरा. Fourth option देखते हैं. Duties, not rights, are important for stability of the state. Wrong. Both duties and rights are important. Rights नहीं होंगे तब भी unstability state में आ जाएगी when you are not giving the rights to the person, to the citizen. See, rights not duties are important for the advancement of the personality of the citizen. No, duties से moral values develop होती हैं. Duties से moral values develop होती हैं citizens में. C is also wrong. B, rights are personal and hence independent of society and duties. Rights personal है. No, rights are not independent of society and duties. Both rights and duties are correlated. A is the correct answer. If you are being given the right to speak, okay, so that does not mean that you can speak anything. Okay, right to speech मिल रहा है तो ये नहीं कुछ भी बोल दोगे. You have the duty to be morally correct, to be, to speak something that is of value. Okay, not something that can destroy somebody else. So, rights and duties are correlative. They do not exist independent of each other. They are not separate from each other. Alright. Fifth question. Right to vote and to be elected in India is a fundamental right, natural right, constitutional right or legal right. बहुत easy question है. Right to vote. Yes, it is a constitutional right. It is provided by the constitution. Okay. Sixth question. Very easy. ये तो बहुत ही easy logic based question था. Factual भी था. ठीक है, अगर आपने ध्यान से पढ़ा है फंडामेंटल राइट्स और इलेक्शन कमीशन वाला चैप्टर. वन ऑफ द इम्प्लीकेशंस ऑफ इक्वालिटी इन सोसाइटी इज द एब्सेंस ऑफ प्रिविलेजेस, रिस्ट्रेंट्स, कंपटीशन, आइडियोलॉजी. अगेन PYQ हैं ये दोनों प्रीवियस ईयर क्वेश्चंस. करेक्ट आंसर बताओ फटाफट से. वन ऑफ द इम्प्लीकेशन ऑफ इक्वालिटी, अगर इक्वालिटी है समाज में तो यानी कि प्रिविलेजेस नहीं होंगे. There will be no privileges if there is equality in society. Yes, competition will exist. ठीक है, equality से क्या मतलब है competition का, equality से क्या मतलब है. Competition तो अपनी personal growth के लिए जरूरी होता है. Ideology, yes, it will exist. Every person has his own kind of ideology and opinion. Restraints, yes, to put the people in place to make sure that there is law and order in the country. Restraints are necessary. Reasonable restraints are necessary. But equality अगर समाज में है तो privileges नहीं होंगे कि किसी एक को हमने ऊपर खड़ा करके रखा है, किसी एक को नीचे खड़ा किया, नहीं. Okay, so equality means absence of privileges. Question 7. Right to privacy is protected under which article of Constitution of India? Article 15, Article 19, 21 और 29. बताओ, बहुत easy question है ये तो, बहुत ही ज्यादा easy. Very good. C is the correct answer. Article 21. Coming on to the next question. Which of the following factors constitutes the best safeguard of liberty in a liberal democracy? Now it's really important question. ये भी PYQ ही है, ठीक है. तो इसमें से कौन से factors हैं जो कि liberty के safeguard यानी कि रक्षक एक liberal democracy में prove होते हैं, ठीक है, या जो liberty को सुरक्षित रखते हैं एक liberal democracy में? Committed judiciary, centralization of powers, elected government or separation of powers. So we have already discussed the meaning of liberty in all, few of our previous analysis. Based on that, let's answer this question. So question number 8 का आंसर क्या होगा, जल्दी से बताओ. Which can be the best safeguard of liberty in a liberal democracy? Very good. It is D, separation of power, because then you can adopt a system of checks and balances that you must have studied in Indian polity in the country. If the judiciary, executive, legislative, they are, they have separation of powers. Okay, that means one can check when the other is going out of hand. Okay, तो यहाँ पर इससे क्या होता है कि एक दूसरे को एक सीमा में, एक लिमिट में, तीनों ऑर्गन्स इंडियन कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन के एक दूसरे को एक लिमिट में रख सकते हैं, एक सीमा के दायरे में रख सकते हैं, सो दैट वन ऑर्गन विल नॉट मिसयूज इट्स पावर, एंड इन दैट केस लिबर्टी विल बी safeguarded or protected in the democracy. Obviously, centralization of power cannot make sure that liberty is protected. Okay, even in case of elected government, there is misuse. There can be misuse of power. Committed judiciary hai, but legislative and executive can, through different several acts, can misuse their powers. So, separation of powers is important. जब power separate रहता है तो एक दूसरे के ऊपर checks and balances के system से नजर रख सकता है. The next important article, Quad is a force for good, says Prime Minister Modi. As we have studied in the previous lectures also, Quad summit is going on. World Economic Forum के ही sidelines पे parallelly Quad summit चल रहा है. So here the question can be, select the nations which are a part of Quad. Quadrilateral dialogue जो है उसके कौन से member countries part हैं? India, Japan, China, USA, Australia, North Korea and Taiwan. You have to select the correct pair. Okay. 1, 4, 2, 5, that is India, Japan, USA, and fifth one is Australia. B option 2, 3, 7, 4, Japan, China, Taiwan, USA. C option 1, 3, 5, 6, India, China, Australia, North Korea. D 7, 1, 2, 3, Taiwan, India, Japan, China. तो बताओ जल्दी से करेक्ट पेयर कौन सा है इसमें? वेरी गुड, यू कैन सी इन द पिक्चर इटसेल्फ, आप पिक्चर में भी देख सकते हो, प्लस यहाँ भी पढ़ सकते हो इन द फर्स्ट पैराग्राफ इटसेल्फ. इट इज ए, दैट इज इंडिया, USA, Japan and Australia. These are the 4 nations which are a part of this quadrilateral dialogue. Question number 10, जल्दी से 10th question answers कीजिए, because we had studied yesterday about Indo-Pacific Economic Framework for Prosperity, right? Joe Biden proposed this. So let us understand what kind of question they can ask. Consider the following statements regarding recently launched, this is LAUN, ठीक है, Indo-Pacific Economic Framework for Prosperity. First statement, IPEF is new economic initiative led by United States. The grouping includes all the members of ASEAN. IPEF is a free trade agreement where countries have agreed to reduce tariffs and increase market access. इसमें से correct statement. Please, I am focusing it again and again. Read the statements very carefully. Only then answer your question. First statement is correct. Yes, it is an economic initiative, a new economic initiative started by US President Joe Biden. So first statement is correct. C will be eliminated. The second statement is saying grouping includes all the members of the ASEAN. Wrong. Out of the 10 members, only 7 members are a part of this, platform. 10 ASEAN के members हैं. There are 10 ASEAN member countries. Out of them, 7 are a part of it. The second statement is wrong. You are left with only one option. Elimination method use कर लिया. That is why reading newspaper very analytically is important. क्योंकि ऐसे all से confuse हो जाओगे. When you will read ASEAN, you will select the statement as correct. And it is not a free trade agreement. Yesterday we studied about it. It's not a trade agreement जहाँ पर tariff को reduce किया जाएगा, market access को increase किया जाएगा. No. It's a kind of partnership agreement wherein basically the power of US to, in the Indo-Pacific region to regain that power. This platform has been launched. So it's not a kind of a trade agreement. Okay. So 3 is also wrong. Second भी गलत, 3 भी गलत. First B is the correct answer. Only statement 1 is correct. Before we move ahead, here's a small announcement for all of you. देखो, Unacademy is launching new batches from today. आज से Unacademy ने नए batches start कर दिए हैं for 2023 and 24 aspirants. So book your seats before the price hike comes, because price hike होने वाला है. सभी batches पे 20% का increment हो जाएगा prices में. And also do not forget to use my code ARPITA10 so that you can get 10% discount on your plus subscription. ये code use करके easily आपको 10% का discount off मिलेगा आपके plus के subscription पर. New batches are going on, and when you subscribe to the iconic subscription ना, जब आप iconic subscription Unacademy plus का लेते हो, you will get 10 printed booklets also to help you ace the prelims preparation, because these booklets will contain 10,000 plus mock questions, including previous year questions, including Unacademy के combat के questions. तो इतने सारे questions, topic wise questions are there. When one topic gets over, you can practice questions based on that topic, so that your preparation will become very strong from day one से ही आपकी preparation और आपका confidence strong हो जाएगा, क्योंकि आप जो topic खत्म कर रहे हो उसके ऊपर question solve कर रहे हो, तो कहीं से कोई कमी रह ही नहीं जाएगी अगर आप topic wise practice करते हो questions को. सब्जेक्ट वाइज प्रैक्टिस करो तो टफ लगता है, बिकॉज सब्जेक्ट टेक्स टाइम टू गेट ओवर, बट टॉपिक्स तो आप फटाफट से कंप्लीट कर सकते हो. एंड वंस यू गेट कंप्लीट द टॉपिक, गिव द टेस्ट. दिस ऑफर इज वैलिड टिल टुडे ओनली, बट ये ऑफर ना आज तक ही वैलिड है, आज रात 11:59 तक ही ये ऑफर वैलिड है. सो मेक श्योर दैट यू बी अ पार्ट ऑफ दिस ऑफर. डू नॉट फॉरगेट टू यूज कोड अर्पिता10 टू गेट 10% डिस्काउंट. अनअकैडमी इज ऑल्सो स्टार्टिंग न्यू ऑप्शनल कार्निवल. आज से नया 5 जून से स्टार्ट हो रहा है ये ऑप्शनल कार्निवल, जिसमें नए नए ऑप्शनल्स हम लॉन्च कर रहे हैं. ज्योग्राफी, हिस्ट्री, मैथ, सोशियोलॉजी, पबैड, PSIR. तो प्लीज मेक श्योर दैट यू टेक योर सब्सक्रिप्शन फटाफट से. एंड इफ यू वांट टू नो मोर डिटेल्स अबाउट इट, you can call on this number as well. The links to subscribe are given below in the description box. Now this is an image which is published on the first page of the newspaper, which says people clearing excess snow from the pavements after snowfall at Kedarnath Dham, Rudraprayag in Uttarakhand. तो यहाँ पर the question can be, because recently the Char Dham project was in news. अभी चार धाम प्रोजेक्ट के बारे में आपने सुना होगा, एंड व्हेन इट वाज इन न्यूज यू हैव टू स्टडी अबाउट इट. सो चार धाम प्रोजेक्ट कंप्राइजेस improvement as well as development of 889 kilometer length of national highways, and it will connect all the dhams, that is Badrinath Dham, Kedarnath Dham, Gangotri, Yamunotri. तो बेसिकली इससे सारे चारों धाम भी कनेक्टेड हैं, ठीक है, which leads to the कैलाश मानसरोवर यात्रा also. तो ये बेसिकली जो आपका स्पिरिचुअल पिलग्रिमेज होता है, this project is going to enhance the experience of that as well. So let's solve the question on it. Consider the following statements about the Char Dham project. The project involves developing and widening 900 km of national highways connecting the holy Hindu pilgrimage sites of Badrinath, Kedarnath, Gangotri and Yamunotri at a cost of rupees 12,000 crores estimated cost. Second statement, highway will be called Char Dham Mahamarg, Char Dham Highway, and highway construction project will be called as Char Dham Mahamarg Vikas Pariyojana. Char Dham Highway Development Project. So select the correct statement. यहाँ आपको correct statement select करना है. First statement is absolutely correct. Just now हमने पढ़ा है 12,000 का करोड़ estimate, 12,000 करोड़ इसमें estimate खर्चा आ जाएगा. Second statement is also correct. So C is the correct answer. Now for homework, this is the question for you. Explain the Uttarakhand's Char Dham Act. So when you'll explain what the act is, why it has been formed, ठीक है, and why it is being withdrawn. उत्तराखंड का जो चार धाम एक्ट था उसको withdraw किया गया, क्यों? Now in the introduction you can start by explaining the चार धाम project. ये आपका ना introduction हो जाएगा. तो introduction में आप सबसे पहले चार धाम project को explain करोगे. So the project comprises improvement as well as development of the 889 kilometer length of the national highways. This is the first very important part of the project. तो जितना भी आपके जो 889 किलोमीटर के जो नेशनल हाईवेज है उनको डेवलप और इम्प्रूव करने का फर्स्ट एम है इस प्रोजेक्ट का. And it would connect Badrinath, Kedarnath, Gangotri, Yamunotri and part of the route leading to Kailash Mansarovar Yatra as well. So it is going to improve the spiritual pilgrimage also for people. So first aim of the project and second aim has been explained. Third aim of the project. This project could also act as a strategic feeder road which could connect the India-China border with army camps in Dehradun and Meerut, जहाँ पर जो हमारे मिसाइल बेसिस है और heavy मशीनरी है वो लोकेटेड है. This is the third important aim of the project. फर्स्ट आपका इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर एम हो गया, सेकंड स्पिरिचुअल एम भी हो गया, स्पिरिचुअल पिलग्रिमेज और टूरिस्ट रिलेटेड एम भी हो गया, और थर्ड आपका यहाँ पर सिक्योरिटी रिलेटेड पर्पस भी समझा दिया आपने. दीज आर द थ्री पर्पसेस दैट द प्रोजेक्ट बेसिकली fulfills. Point clear? Chardham project you have explained the introduction. Now the question is saying that why it is being withdrawn. ये withdraw क्यों किया जा रहा है? So the reason behind the withdrawal first are the environmental concerns. Now when the highway project is getting started, we know that the roads had to be widened up. रोड्स को चौड़ा तो करना पड़ेगा, एंड बिकॉज ऑफ दैट पीपल आर, स्पेशली द पीपल हु आर environmental who are concerned about the environment, so they are worried that it will lead to destruction of ecology, because then uprooting of trees will be done, uprooting of vegetation will automatically, it leads to destruction of biodiversity. सो दैट इज रॉन्ग, क्योंकि 55,000 के अप्रोक्सीमेट आसपास ट्रीज हैं जिनको डिस्ट्रॉय किया जा सकता है रोड्स को वाइडन करने के लिए, रोड्स को ले डाउन करने के लिए. फर्स्ट इज द इन्वायरमेंटल कंसर्न, सेकंड इज द प्रोटेस्ट बाय द प्रीस्ट. नाउ इन दिस पर्टिकुलर एक्ट the Char Dham Devasthanam Management Act was being established. तो एक बोर्ड स्टैब्लिश किया जाना था, चार धाम देवस्थानम मैनेजमेंट बोर्ड. ओके, बट द प्रीस्ट ऑफ द ऑल द 4 श्राइन्स एंड द विश्व हिंदू परिषद दे डिड नॉट लाइक इट. उन्होंने कहा कि जैसे पहले मैनेजमेंट चल रहा था वैसे चलते रहने दो, ठीक है. वाई क्रिएशन ऑफ दिस मैनेजमेंट बोर्ड, वाई इज इट रिक्वायर्ड? सो दे वर प्रोटेस्टिंग. सो बिकॉज ऑफ द प्रोटेस्ट ऑफ द प्रीस्ट एंड द विश्व हिंदू परिषद ऑल्सो, उत्तराखंड गवर्नमेंट अनाउंस्ड दैट दे आर गोइंग टू विड्रॉ द चार धाम देवस्थानम मैनेजमेंट एक्ट. दीज आर द रीजंस. ये आपके यहाँ पर रीजन हो जाते हैं, ठीक है. पॉइंट क्लियर हो गया? So this is how you have to be to the point while answering the question. Now the next important article, Qutub Minar not a place of worship, says the Archaeological Survey of India. So the Archaeological Survey of India says that the Qutub Minar complex is not a place of worship and its character cannot be changed. ओके, ये कुतुब मीनार जो है ये प्लेस ऑफ वर्शिप नहीं है, पूजा करने का स्थान नहीं है, और इसके कैरेक्टर को अब आप चेंज नहीं कर सकते, ठीक है. दिस वाज सबमिटेड बाय आर्कियोलॉजिकल सर्वे ऑफ इंडिया. There was a petition which was filed, ठीक है, and that petition was now opposed by Archaeological Survey of India. Now the Qutub Minar complex is not a place of worship, character cannot be changed. ASI ने ये कहा है, submitted in Delhi court, and it opposed a plea of petition challenging the dismissal of a civil suit seeking restoration of Hindu and Jain temples on the premises. There was an original suit or case which was filed, and it said that 27 temples were demolished to build the Quwwat-ul-Islam mosque at the Qutub Minar complex. इस कॉम्प्लेक्स में छोटे छोटे मॉस्क भी हैं, तो यहाँ पर जो कुतुब इस्लाम मॉस्क या मस्जिद तैयार बनाया गया था, तो उस पिटीशन में ये था, उस केस में ये था कि यहाँ पर 27 टेम्पल्स को डिमोलिश करके फिर वो एक मॉस्क बनाया गया. बट दिस केस वॉज डिसमिस्ड लास्ट ईयर अंडर द प्रोविजन ऑफ प्लेसेस ऑफ वर्शिप एक्ट 1991. एंड similarly, Archaeological Survey of India again, a petition was filed for restoration of the Hindu and Jain temples. तो यहाँ पर कहा गया कि भाई कुतुब मीनार का जो पूरा इंटायर कॉम्प्लेक्स है ना, ओके, इट इज नॉट अ प्लेस ऑफ वर्शिप, यहाँ पर पूजा करने का स्थान नहीं है ये. तो इसके कैरेक्टर को आप कोई भी पिटीशन या केस फाइल करके चेंज नहीं कर सकते हो. सो बेस्ड ऑन दिस, लेट्स आंसर अ क्वेश्चन. Consider the following statements about the Archaeological Survey of India. They can ask you a question regarding the Archaeological Survey of India. Let's answer the question. It is under Ministry of Archaeology. It was founded in 1861 by Alexander Cunningham, the first Director General of ASI. Alexander Cunningham is also known as the father of Indian archaeology. Correct answer यहाँ पर क्या होगा? Very easy question to answer. Very good. First is wrong. Why? It is Ministry of Culture, not Archaeology. ठीक है, आर्कियोलॉजिकल सर्वे ऑफ इंडिया मिनिस्ट्री ऑफ कल्चर के अंडर आता है. सेकंड एंड थर्ड स्टेटमेंट्स आर एब्सोल्युटली करेक्ट. यस और नो, जल्दी से बताओ, सेकंड थर्ड स्टेटमेंट्स आपके करेक्ट हैं या नहीं? वेरी गुड, करेक्ट है. बी इज द करेक्ट आंसर ओवर हियर. कमिंग ऑन टू द नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन, कंसिडर द फॉलोइंग स्टेटमेंट्स अबाउट प्लेसेस ऑफ वर्शिप एक्ट 1991. इट सीक्स टू मेंटेन रिलीजियस कैरेक्टर. वी स्टडीड दिस प्रीवियसली इन द हिंदू न्यूज एनालिसिस, हमने पढ़ा था इसको, है ना. सो बेसिकली द क्वेश्चन इज सेइंग that it seeks to maintain the religious character of places of worship as it was in 1947, except in the case of Ram Janmabhoomi Babri Masjid dispute, because it is already in court. Next statement, the legal proceedings, however, can be initiated if change of status took place after 15th August 1947. Third, it also imposes positive obligation on state to maintain the religious character of every place of worship which existed at the time of independence. कौन सा स्टेटमेंट करेक्ट है इसमें? वेरी गुड. जस्ट 2 days अगो वी स्टडीड दिस पर्टिकुलर एक्ट. करेक्ट आंसर यहाँ पर आपका हो जाएगा डी. ऑल द अबव स्टेटमेंट्स आर करेक्ट. Question 14. Consider the following statements about Ancient Monuments and Archaeological Sites and Remains Act 1958. Under this act, the Archaeological Survey of India, statement को correct कर लीजिए. Under this act, we have the Archaeological Survey of India. Second, it provides for preservation of ancient and historical monuments and archaeological sites. which and remains of national importance. Third, it provides for regulation of archaeological excavations and protection of sculpture, carvings and other objects. करेक्ट स्टेटमेंट इसमें कौन सा हो जाएगा 14th क्वेश्चन में, जल्दी से बताएं. वेरी गुड, फर्स्ट स्टेटमेंट इज करेक्ट. इसके अंदर आपका आर्कियोलॉजिकल सर्वे ऑफ इंडिया आता है, कवर होता है. यस, ऑल द स्टेटमेंट्स आर करेक्ट. करेक्ट आंसर आपका हो जाएगा सी. ऑल द स्टेटमेंट्स आर करेक्ट. नेक्स्ट इंपॉर्टेंट, दिस इज एन एडिटोरियल. नेक्स्ट इंपॉर्टेंट आर्टिकल इज दिस एडिटोरियल, inadequacies of civil registration system. Let's solve a question based on it. What is the civil registration system? So consider the following statements about civil registration system. Select the correct code. इसमें से correct statement आपको identify करना है. The CRS collates data on all births and deaths registered with the local authorities in India. CRS report is released by Registrar General of India. It releases its report around 18 months after the year ends. So here all the statements are correct. सभी statements correct हैं. D आपका यहाँ पर correct answer हो जाएगा. Okay, all the statements are correct. Civil registration system report was also released in 2020. If you had studied the current affairs back then. तो CRS क्या है? बेसिकली ये सारे बर्थ्स एंड डेथ, इंडिया में जितने भी जन्म हुए हैं, जितनी भी मृत्यु हुई है, उन सबको कोलेट करता है, इस डेटा को इकट्ठा करता है और इस डेटा को रिलीज किया जाता है, इस रिपोर्ट को रिलीज किया जाता है रजिस्ट्रार जनरल ऑफ इंडिया के द्वारा. एंड इट इज रिलीज अराउंड 18 मंथ्स आफ्टर ईयर एंड. जैसे एक साल खत्म होता है, जैसे कि अब 2021 खत्म हो गया, उसके 18 महीने बाद ये रिपोर्ट निकल कर आएगी. ठीक है, पूरा डेटा पिछले साल का निकल कर आपके सामने आएगा. ऑल राइट, let's answer another question. Consider the following statements about the Registrar General of India. So Registrar General of India was founded in 1951 by Government of India under MHA. It arranges, conducts, analyzes the results of demographic surveys of India, including Census of India and Linguistic Survey of India. And the position of Registrar is usually held by a civil servant holding the rank of Joint Secretary. Correct answer इसमें कौन सा हो जाएगा आपका? Very good. It is correct answer है. First statement is wrong. It is 1961. तो पहला statement हटा दो फटाफट से. तो correct answer is B. Elimination method used. B is the correct answer. Now recently we know, let us understand the editorial. Recently we know that WHO estimated that there were excess deaths due to COVID-19 in India. भारत में COVID-19 की वजह से excess, extra, death हुई है, काफी ज्यादा death हुई है. But this report of WHO was criticized by our government. And our state health ministers also said that this report is wrong, because India has a very strong, very legal, very transparent system for collection of the death data and the birth data, okay, for the surveillance of COVID related deaths. And that system is known as the civil registration system. That's why it was in news. अभी 2 हफ्ते पहले ये news में था, and again today the article came in the newspaper. All right, so here the question is WHO wrong? Because WHO की reports काफी strategically बनाई जाती हैं. और is our civil registration system wrong? क्या WHO की रिपोर्ट में कमी है या हमारे सिविल रजिस्ट्रेशन सिस्टम के रिपोर्ट में ही कुछ inadequacies हैं? So let's first understand what is the system for registration in India. सबसे पहले समझते हैं कि registration का ये system है क्या. And also while looking at this slide, understand how we are making notes from the editorial. ये slide देखते वक्त ये भी समझिए कि हम notes कैसे ले रहे हैं editorial से. So when we study the system of registration in India, first thing that you need to remember is the Registration of Birth and Death Act 1969, or it is famously known as the RBD Act of 1969. It is used, or you can say it mandates the registration of birth and death in India. This is the first important information that you should remember, which the article also specifies. And the system for registration in India is the responsibility of the state government. भाई क्योंकि स्टेट वाइज अगर कोई डेथ या बर्थ हो रही है तो स्टेट गवर्नमेंट की जिम्मेदारी होती है उस डेटा को कलेक्ट करने की. ओके, and the Registrar General of India, this is the second fact and this is the third fact, that the Registrar General of India, he has the responsibility of coordinating and unifying the activities of registration of all the states. सभी states की जो death और birth की registration हुई है उनको coordinate कराना activities को और single data collate करवाना और unify करना उसकी जिम्मेदारी Registrar General की होती है with the help of state government. And there is a sample registration system also which further analyzes the birth and death registration by verifying the proofs, verifying the evidences. And birth and death should be registered within 21 days. And after 21 days, the birth and death can be registered. If within 21 days it is not registered, then after 21 days it can be registered under the Registration of Birth and Death Act with an order of the first class magistrate when he finishes the verification of the facts or evidences of the birth and death. This is the whole process or system for registration in India that you need to remember. ये हमने आर्टिकल से पहली चीज समझ ली, ठीक है. Now you understood how we made a mind map. हमने किस तरीके से mind map तैयार किया है for our revision. Now it will become so easy for you to revise this system before your exam. So these are the further reasons or issues with India's registration system. These are the reasons why it is said that India's registration system has certain inadequacies. First reason is that only 20% of the deaths have a medically certified cause of death that conforms to the WHO standard. Reason of death भी दिया जाता है. अभी recently my father expired, so we had a medically certified cause of death letter also from the hospital. The reason was stated why he died. He had pneumonia. तो particular reason भी लिखा हुआ था कि भैया क्यों इस व्यक्ति की, कैसे इस व्यक्ति की मृत्यु हुई है, ठीक है. And that certificate is used everywhere from banks to the insurance companies. Everywhere that letter, the MDC जिसको बोलते हैं, वो हमें attach करना ही पड़ता है, ठीक है. Sorry, MCCD, ठीक है. इसको हम MCCD बोलते हैं, medically certified cause of death. We have to attach it with the death certificate of my father when it comes to closing his bank accounts or seeking for the claim for the with the insurance company, everywhere. ठीक है. So this is also important, but only 20% of deaths have this certificate. Okay, that confirms the WHO standard. Second, sample registration system figures are not available for the year 2020 when the COVID pandemic hit India. उस टाइम का sample registration system में figures तो है ही नहीं death और birth की. The past SRS figures or studies also indicated that their data was underestimated by 2 to 3%. And many deaths like female deaths and child deaths, they have low level of registration. Why? Because child death में we do not require to maintain a legal heir certificate to close the bank accounts. Okay, तो इस केस में people don't register their death of their children. Female death में भी registration नहीं कराते हैं because उसमें death certificate की requirement नहीं होती है inheritance वगैरह settle करने के लिए. Because some of the females जैसे पुराने जमाने की बूढ़ी औरतें होती हैं, ठीक है, या फिर कुछ घर वालों की सोच छोटी होती है तो वो उनका अकाउंट नहीं खुलवाते बच्चियों का, या फिर उनका कोई इंश्योरेंस नहीं करवाते. तो उस केस में जब महिलाओं की डेथ होती है तो उस केस में रजिस्ट्रेशन का लेवल ही लो है हमारी कंट्री में. These are the reasons which are posing as issues with the current India's registration system. Point taken. अच्छे से समझ लिया आपने point. Now let us understand the impact of COVID-19 on the registration process. कि COVID-19 का असर क्या पड़ा registration process में. So we know that COVID-19 affected the efficiency of our civil registration system, CRS. Okay, first was that the registrars could not work physically because they were at home during lockdown. Lockdown के दौरान तो कोई भी ऑफिस नहीं आ रहा था. So first that is the situation due to lockdown when nobody could come out. Second reason is people could not travel to the registrar's office to report the birth or death that occurred at home. ठीक है, विद इन द प्रिस्क्राइब्ड टाइम पीरियड, बिकॉज लॉकडाउन्स वर देयर प्लस कोविड की वजह से डेथ हो रही थी तो पीपल हैड टू बी पुट इन आइसोलेशन. तो कोविड की वजह से जो डेथ हो रही थी फैमिली मेंबर्स 14 डेज के तो आइसोलेशन में ही हो जाते थे, ठीक है, तो वो घर से बाहर नहीं आ पा रहे थे टू रजिस्टर दैट बर्थ एंड डेथ. And third is in case of delay in reporting. If in case there was delay in reporting of the birth and death, the procedure of getting the affidavit or magistrate's order, first class order, is very cumbersome. Section 13 of RBD Act says that if there is a delay of 21 days in reporting the birth or death, in that case you need to get the approval or order of first class order of a magistrate. But that process is very tiresome. Even the process of getting the legal hire certificate that we were supposed to get after my father's death, it took us 1.5 months to do that. सच में ये गवर्नमेंट प्रोसेस जो होते हैं कुछ कुछ चीजों में काफी डिलेड होते हैं. However, we registered online, but still we had to, go to the SDM office and, do up and down to the SDM office for 1.5 months, and then at last we got the legal hire certificate that we had to give to the insurance companies and the bank accounts. And to the bank officials to close the bank accounts. तो वो भी हमें 1.5 महीना लग गया और सच में बहुत कम्बरसन है. दिस इज माई फर्स्ट हैंड एक्सपीरियंस. ये सिर्फ मैं न्यूज़पेपर से देखकर आपको बता नहीं रही हूँ. आई एम नॉट जस्ट लुकिंग एट द न्यूज़पेपर एंड टेलिंग यू ऑल ऑफ दिस. दिस इज माई फर्स्ट हैंड एक्सपीरियंस व्हेन माई फादर एक्सपायर्ड. अभी 4 months बैक ही लेफ्ट हिज बॉडी ऑन 31st of December 2021. उसके बाद जो हमने चक्कर लगाए SDM ऑफिस के 1.5-2 महीने, हमारी बैंड बज गई उस वक्त. बिकॉज क्या हुआ कि इतनी धूप में, एक तो हीट वेव का चल रहा था सिस्टम, इतनी धूप में हमें चक्कर लगाने पड़े. देखो आफ्टर 31st December व्हेन माय फादर डाइड, ठीक है, इन द मंथ ऑफ February वी रजिस्टर्ड फॉर द लीगल हायर सर्टिफिकेट बिकॉज 1 month वी कॉन्टैक्टेड कोविड. हमें पहले तो 13 days का हमें रिचुअल करना पड़ा, उसके बाद हमें कोविड हो गया तो हम घर में लॉक थे. उसके बाद his office had to be wound up because he was a chartered accountant. Then in the month of Feb we did the registration online because on Delhi's website, Delhi district e-district website, the registration process was being done. So we registered it, but still we had to go to the SDM office because registration के बाद भी 1 month we had to wait. Nobody called us, nobody came to us. Verification of documents were done. Okay, but the legal hire certificate was not getting released. For that we had to go to SDM office. And then after lots of inquiring and lots of doing up and down, हम जाते थे, हमें मना कर देते थे वापस जाओ, या बोल देते थे कल आ जाएगा, परसों आ जाएगा, हम घर आ जाते थे. इतना दूर है वो ऑफिस हमारे घर से, और उसके बाद भी 1.5-2 महीने लग गए. उसके बाद जाकर तो हमारा लीगल हायर सर्टिफिकेट आया. सो नो वंडर दिस इज द इशू गोइंग ऑन राइट नाउ. ये इशू चल रहा है हमारी कंट्री में. Okay, so that means large number of births and deaths that do not get reported even later on. So COVID-19 acted as an eye opener also, because वरना तो हमें पता ही नहीं चलता कि registration में ये issue आ रहा है. WHO report acted as an eye opener. Okay, so there should be a very strong and robust system that should be instituted. एक strong robust system को institute करने की जरूरत है in order to correct this system. Understood? समझ आ गया ये editorial का आपको मतलब? Okay, this is how you need to make notes. इस तरीके से आपको notes बनाने हैं पढ़ के. The next important article, the controversy around the Jagannath Temple Heritage Corridor project. So the Puri Heritage Corridor project is a 3,200 crore redevelopment project, ठीक है, of the 800-year-old Jagannath Temple in Puri by the Odisha government. So in February, यहाँ पर क्या हुआ था, जब excavation work start हुआ था, तो within 75 meters of the temple to build public amenities, experts objected to the use of heavy machinery for digging. Okay, they cited that there can be a possibility of an adverse impact on the temple if you use heavy machinery for digging of the ground. The Archaeological Survey of India said that a sculpture of a lion which possibly dates back to the Ganga dynasty was found during the excavation for the controversial heritage corridor. ये थर्ड लायन स्कल्पचर है जो यहाँ पर पाया गया है एक्सकवेशन वर्क करते वक्त. सो द क्वेश्चन कैन बी, कंसिडर द फॉलोइंग स्टेटमेंट्स अबाउट जगन्नाथ टेम्पल. इट वाज कंस्ट्रक्टेड इन 12th century by King Antavarman Choda Ganga Deva of the Eastern Ganga dynasty. It was constructed, the Jagannath temple is called the Yamanika Tirtha, where according to the Hindu beliefs, power of Yama, the god of death, has been nullified in Puri because यहाँ पर Lord Jagannath present है. And it was called the White Pagoda and is a part of Char Dham pilgrimage as well. So correct answer इस case में क्या होगा question का? The correct answer here is very good. It is D. All of the above statements are absolutely correct. Question number 18. Consider the main statements about Puri Jagannath temple. It is an important Shaivite temple dedicated to Lord Shiva. The temple is believed to be constructed in 12th century by King Antavarman. ये तो statement सही है, ठीक है. Two statement is saying correct, so A will be eliminated. The Jagannath Puri temple is called Yamanika Tirtha, ये भी हमने पढ़ा, absolutely correct, ये भी आपका correct है. B will be eliminated यहाँ से, ठीक है. So first statement is wrong. Why? Because it's not a Shaivite temple, ये Vaishnavite temple है. Lord Jagannath Puri is it's Lord Krishna. Okay, so it is Vaishnavite. Lord Shiva नहीं, Krishna, who is an incarnation of Lord Vishnu, Narayan. Okay, so C is the correct answer over here. 18th का correct answer है C. The next important article, center scraps import duties on crude sunflower soybean oils in a bid to cool inflation in edible oils. The center on the inedible oil. The center allowed duty-free import of 20 lakh tons each of crude soybean oil and crude sunflower oil for 2023-24. So consider the following statements about import duty. It is a tax collected on imports and some exports by custom authority of the country. It is based on the value of goods that are exported. Import duty may also be referred as tariff, import tax, custom duty and import tariff. सेकेंड स्टेटमेंट तो गलत हो गया बिकॉज यहाँ पर इम्पोर्टेड होगा, इम्पोर्ट ड्यूटी है ना तो इम्पोर्टेड गुड्स पे लगेगा. सो हियर करेक्ट आंसर इज वेरी गुड. फर्स्ट एंड थर्ड स्टेटमेंट आर करेक्ट. इट इज ए दैट इज करेक्ट. ए आपका करेक्ट आंसर है. लास्ट क्वेश्चन फॉर टुडे, कंसिडर द फॉलोइंग स्टेटमेंट्स अबाउट एडिबल ऑयल्स. यहाँ पर एडिबल ऑयल्स के ऊपर क्वेश्चन आएगा आपके और यहाँ पर आपके इम्पोर्ट ड्यूटी के ऊपर क्वेश्चन आएगा. सो मोर देन हाफ ऑफ इंडियाज एडिबल ऑयल कंजम्पशन इज इम्पोर्टेड. India's dependence on edible oil imports is around 65%. Sunflower oil accounts for 14% of all edible oil imports. Correct statement जल्दी से बताओ कौन सा है. Very good. All of the above statements are absolutely correct. D आपका correct answer है यहाँ पर. D is the correct answer. So this was all for today. I hope you enjoyed today's lecture. उम्मीद करती हूँ आपको आज का lecture अच्छा लगा हो. If you really enjoyed this lecture, do let me know in the comment section. Comment section में मुझे फटाफट से बताना आपको ये lecture कैसा लगा. And then we'll proceed in making more of these kind of lectures in the future as well.